Okay. So today we are going to be taking the sustainability and energy management, which is one of the courses for the facility management mastercraft program to be able to get the facility management diploma offered by Max-Migold. And I'm sure that as you guys have been going through the process of doing the courses one by one, you must have been learning valuable things from the course. Because to be a successful facility manager, all courses are important. You don't know where you will find yourself tomorrow. And you might even find yourself where you require a bit of all these courses. So knowing every course taught in this program, understanding, knowing, and also the application is very important to be a well-rounded facility manager. So my name is Dare Balogun. I'm also a graduate of the Mastercraft Diploma. I currently have my CFM and I have my executive master's. And I'm a certified facility, IFMA certified facility manager. My first course in the university was physics. When I was in school, physics was hard for me, you know. But as I started doing facility management, I got to understand that it's actually an important course because it lets you understand a lot of concepts. So I've been doing this profession for over 9 years. I started in construction, building, remodeling, refurbishing. But I discovered along the line that when we build these expensive properties or when people buy these expensive assets, there's no maintenance culture. We lack maintenance culture in Nigeria. They believe that if it's not broken, you don't have to fix it. But the client that buys these things will not actually get value for their money. This is the first thing that made me say, okay, let me go into facility management. And when I met Mr. Paul Erubami, and he mentored me on how important a facility manager is to every establishment. That's what made me say, yes, this is actually the profession that I will like to do. So I successfully manage multi-tenant facility across multiple countries, and I'm also a certified member of IFMA. So I would like to welcome everybody to this course, Sustainability and Energy Management. If you have any questions, you can always type it in the box, in the comment box, and I will attend to it. So the objective of this course is to, first of all, analyze environmental issues, which made people talk about sustainability. You apply sustainability principles, you propose sustainable practices and innovations, you communicate sustainability issues effectively, you lead and advocate for change, you implement energy efficiency measures. So this is the course outline. We're going to be talking of principles of sustainability, establishing sustainability policies, energy management. Very important for every facility manager, for everyone doing this course to take energy management important. We are talking about sustainable facility management, sustainable facility management 2, and technological integration for sustainability. Module 1, which is sustainability, environmental stewardship, sustainability and environmental stewardship, benefit of sustainability consciousness, FM sustainability goal. Please come on this journey with me. What is sustainability? As the explanation goes, it said sustainability is the ability to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. What it means is that avoid wastage. When we are talking of sustainability, you ensure that we believe that the resources on earth are finite. That means they can finish. Sustainability makes us understand that we can meet our current needs and we don't have to destroy the opportunities of future generations to meet their own needs. That's what sustainability is preaching. That's what it's trying to teach us. Then we move on. Sustainable practices seek to accommodate human needs without diminishing the productivity or health of natural systems. To achieve sustainability goals, we will have to evaluate policies on: one, is it economically profitable? This direction of sustainability we are going to. Is it economically profitable for the organization? Is it economically profitable for the individuals in the organization? That means you achieve that by developing a long range view of products, a long range view of products or practices that bring value to the environment. Then secondly, you ask, is it environmentally responsible for the built and natural environment? What this is talking about is that, is the environment not going to be affected? Will the environment not going to be destroyed? Example of this is the global warming that has been going on, saving the ecosystem, saving the organisms. Then thirdly, we are talking about socially viable. That means, is it going to make the social part of where people live, where animals live, is it conducive? When we are getting our resources, which we need for our daily lives, are we not going to be inconveniencing the living organisms, the human beings? These are things that sustainability talks about. An example is creating healthy spaces, places to work and live for us and future generation. This planet we are is the only one we have. So we have to make sure that even our great grandchildren can come and meet a conducive environment for that which they can live in. That is sustainability. So we talk about environmental stewardship. As a facility manager, it's our responsibility to push sustainable practices at the forefront of all sectors. What this means is that when you gain this knowledge of sustainability, it's your responsibility to share this knowledge to people, to your colleagues at work, to share it with your family members. Because if you are the only one that knows about sustainability and is working towards it, it's still going to affect you if people around you are polluting the environment. That's just a very simple example. So what this means is that environmental stewardship involves taking action to protect natural resources, reduce pollution, and conserve ecosystems. Awareness that all resources are finite and are available to support a steady growing world population. As the world is, we have enough land, we have enough water, we have enough oxygen to sustain the world, even as much as people are growing. But we have a responsibility to make sure that we don't destroy the ecosystem. Resources are finite. Secondly, practices such as reducing waste, using resources efficiently, promoting biodiversity, and adopting sustainable practices in industries, agriculture, and daily life. Finding a balance between human needs and the preservation of the planet's resources. Ensuring we don't deplete or damage them in a way that negatively impacts future generations. You can see that sustainability and environmental stewardship, they sound alike. One of them is a strategy. The other one is operational and tactical. One of them is a plan. The second one, environmental stewardship, is taking action. Taking action by putting yourself, doing the work, and also tell people how they will do the work. So when we compare sustainability and environmental stewardship, sustainability is the ability to maintain a process over the long term without depleting resources or causing harm, and this involves careful monitoring. It involves three main pillars: supporting economic growth while avoiding overuse of resources, ensuring the well-being and value of people, place, processes, and social justice, protecting ecosystem and conserving natural resources. An example of sustainability is what this United Nations Environmental Fund does. They've put out a process. One of it is reduce pollution. Everybody knows that you are supposed to be going, you are supposed to reduce pollution. You are supposed to reduce wastage. You are supposed to, there are some offices or organizations, I do it in my organization. I have waste segregation. There's 3 waste bins in the office. There's one for plastic, there's one for nylon, and there's one for organic waste. Sustainability means that the process is there. Everybody in the organization knows, and they understand that this is how we do it. You have a sticker and everybody can see it. Then now we come to environmental stewardship. He said this is more focused on taking full responsibility on care of the environment by avoiding misuse or wastage of resources, to carry out continuous action to protect, preserve, and manage natural resources in a way that supports ecological health. Now I'm using the waste segregation as an example. So the process of you teaching your colleagues in the office, teaching your staff, the staff that report to you in the office, that this is what we are going to be doing. This is the operations level of what we will be doing to meet sustainability, areas of environmental stewardship. You build a process through strategy. Sustainability is building a process. Environmental stewardship is taking action. Both are for direct intervention by conservation, waste management, and ecosystem restoration. Another example of sustainability is that we are not a community can say we are not going to support deforestation. That means we are not allowing cutting of trees in this environment because it is important for ecosystem sustainability. So they now say, okay, those places where they've cut trees, we want to plant trees there and monitor those trees for the next 10 years and make sure they grow. That is environmental stewardship, ecosystem restoration. So the process of making sure that all these things come to pass is the combination of sustainability and environmental stewardship. I hope we are getting my explanation. So benefit of sustainability consciousness. It's very important to be conscious of sustainability processes. You have to pay attention to something as little as avoid usage of paper, going electronic is a sustainability process, because if you buy paper for something as little as visitors management, the company will be buying books, and you'll be filling your visitor management. And at the end of the day, the books might get damaged or get torn. But if you go and do it online on a computer, that saves you a lot of cost. So if you go through sustainability process, it's a win-win for both the user and the environment. So the benefit of sustainable practices, we have the environmental benefits, we have the economic benefits, we have the social benefits, and the ethical benefits. As a custodian of the built environment, we need to be conscious and ensure that our activities and processes support sustainability. By embracing sustainability, we are not only protecting the planet, but also improving quality of life for ourselves and others. An example of this, which is very common, is landfill or waste dumping into the gutters. By the time the gutters get clogged, it's everybody that will suffer for it. But when we are disposing our waste in a very good way, in a very right way, we will see that nobody is going to suffer when it rains or when there is flood. FM sustainability goals. These are strategic processes tailored to managing the built environment, infrastructure, and the running of operations. environmental footprint of buildings and ensure they operate efficiently. Number one is green certifications. We must have heard of green buildings. These are buildings that don't use many resources to run. It's either they are using solar or the water is recycled or they don't use generators or the building envelope doesn't, the way it is, the buildings are constructed, the building envelope does not allow for consumption, will not allow them to use too much AC. Or there are also some buildings that they don't even need AC. The way it is built, breeze comes in without costing them. Then next, we have energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is being smart with how energy is consumed. It's not that you will punish people or you deprive people of consuming energy. There's nothing anybody can do about power consumption. But you can closely monitor it so that you can know the places where you don't really need power and the places where you need reduced power. There are some people, for their restrooms, they have big windows. And the fact that you have big windows, you don't need bulbs in your restroom. That alone is energy efficiency. You might film the windows of your office spaces so that the sunlight will not allow you consume a lot of AC will not be on for long. It's energy efficiency. So we move on to employee engagement and training is important. As facility managers, any knowledge you have, it is useless except you share that knowledge. You must always share knowledge to people so that even if you are not there, you'll be able to implement those things which you know. You can't be everywhere at the same time. Then we have water conservation. This is using less water and still achieving the right use. People recycle water. I saw a picture some time ago that showed where the tap for washing hand in the restroom is just above the water closet tank. So as you are washing your hand, the water is going into the water closet tank and you also use it to flush. That's an example of water conservation. Some people use sensor taps. So that's one of it. Then we have waste management and reduction. I've spoken about it. That means you use things that you use, for example, you use plates instead of disposable. You are reducing your waste. Then indoor environmental quality. This speaks to how your residents or your colleagues or people that you serve, how they perceive the indoor environment to make sure that it is conducive for everyone. So for sustainability, we have the triple bottom line. We say sustainability is maintaining the harmony between the built environment, the natural environment, and the society. So this speaks to the social, economic, and environmental part of sustainability. The social part is talking about the people, you and I, that actually use the built environment. The economic part is the profit aspect or the tangible benefits which your organization can get by going the route of sustainability. And the environment is the planet which we inhabit and don't have another one. So if you manage or if you put your sustainability process well, these three things will give us great benefits. So the triple bottom line, what it does is to show us how these three are interconnected. So for the social, we have social and economic. It means is it equitable? That means is there equality for both the financial and for the people using it? When you say social and environment, is it bearable? That means can these people in social, the human beings, can they enjoy those resources without also damaging the environment? Then we have the viable part, which is the financial part and the environment. Is it viable? Is it something we can go into? When we say we want to be sustainable, is this something we can actually venture into that will not cost us too much money? So the three of them using this Venn diagram speaks to sustainability. So it says facility managers should endeavor to strike a balance in all these aspects to achieve sustainability goals. So we have the principles of sustainability. That's module 2. One of the principles is to implement corporate social responsibility and good governance citizenship. That means you are telling everybody around you and in your office that we should learn to manage waste. We should use less plastic. This is a social responsibility of everybody. And good corporate citizenship, that means the organization must be involved in promoting environmentally conscious operations and considering the impact on the community when making decisions. 2, a building generates multiple types of pollution such as air, water, noise, and solid waste. And this can be reduced through various methods and approaches. I've said it before. For water, it can be recycled. For air, you can reduce pollution of the air. For the noise, too, soundproof, avoid loud music is part of it so that other people will not be affected. Someone might be having meetings in the office. That's not the time you can call a vendor to come and be working. It's going to make noise and disrupt the work the person is doing. Then this can be reduced. There are various ways to reduce all these things, and which you have to touch on one by one as a facility manager. So reducing consumption will encourage a change in the behavior and expectation of occupants and owners, which will improve occupants' health, comfort, and productivity. For example, now you can't tell anybody that water is free and unlimited to use. When somebody goes to the restroom, you just leaves the tap on. By the time somebody goes there and see that there's a sensor tap, it registers in their head that we can't waste water. In my office, everybody knows that there's a particular time which the power goes off. They know that we have to work together. We can't just leave the AC running when nobody is in that part of the office. When nobody's in the restroom too, we have to know how the power goes off through sensor. So that's one of the reducing consumption. Next is a demonstrate ethical behavior that communicates the expected standards for management, employees, and suppliers. This ethics policy should incorporate expectations about sustainable behavior in regards to the environment and society. So one of these now is what Lagos State has done, that it doesn't encourage nylons. So it's an ethical behavior. It has been communicated and is the standard for this state. Some organizations too have that. They don't accept what they call this thing, this plate that is disposable. This disposable, they don't accept it. They have ceramic plates in the office which everybody should use to eat. They don't support plastic spoons. There are some organizations. So it is already an ethical behavior which has been communicated and everybody has to do it. To the extent that they even watch how people dispose of their waste to make sure that everybody does the right thing. So next is paying attention to details and investigating alternatives that can help reduce waste and contribute to savings, especially related to transportation costs and supply chain activities. What this is talking about is that some organizations have decided that they want to use one vehicle to move all their staff. And because of this now, even people that have vehicles at home don't need to bring their vehicles to work. This reduces transportation costs. And this also helps the environment because one vehicle bringing out carbon monoxide is far different from 20 vehicles bringing out carbon monoxide. So organizations use this. Some people might not know how important it is, but this strategy counts for organizations that decide to go this route. So module 3, establishing sustainability policies. It's important that every organization has sustainability policy. And these are policies that are laid down and everybody has to follow, from the CEO to the cleaners to the smallest person in the organization. One of them is that you can't just throw waste anywhere in the office. You are going to be penalized for it. So sustainability drivers are factors that motivate and influence organizations, governments, and individuals to adopt sustainable practices, which include environmental, economic, social, and regulatory pressures. Examples are environmental concerns like climate change, resource depletion, species extinction, and loss of species. One of it is one of these environmental concerns is the fight against poaching, which poaching, like many animals, like the rhinoceros now, was going into extinction some time ago because people hunt them for their horns and even elephants for their tusks. So sustainability drivers have put forces in place to eliminate this type of thing. We have regulatory requirements by governments such as carbon emission targets, waste reduction mandates, recycling and resource efficiency. There are some organizations that they are going green. They are totally in Nigeria. Yeah, you might not be totally able to eliminate it, but they have totally reduced generator usage. If the grid power goes off, they have solar or they have backup power. So that is reducing your carbon emission. And such organizations encourage building of trees and planting of trees, which also add more oxygen to the environment. So next, we have customer demands that become more conscious of sustainability practices with a growing demand for sustainable products and services. People read the label of things that they buy now, and they know that things like asbestos and some other harmful chemicals should not be in things that people consume. They reject it. So everybody is becoming more conscious, even as much as we teach about sustainability. Then we have corporate social responsibility and improved brand reputation. Yes, any organization that is going towards sustainability, the reputation of that brand is going to improve because it is seen that you support the ecosystem, you support the environment, and you are against resource depletion, and you also know about climate change. It's very important. So innovation, technological advancement, and competitive advantage. So what this sustainability also does, it makes people think that, okay, since we cannot use this type of, since we are going against global warming, we don't want to use generator, we don't want to use fossil fuels, what can we use? That's what brought up the idea of using solar. Okay, this is how we can power our houses. And that's what part of also what supports the electric car. We don't want to use fossil fuel again. We're using electric cars. Okay, if you charge your car, it brings. And as we can see, Tesla is becoming competitive with other vehicles that do fossil fuel. And check very well, a lot of other conventional vehicle manufacturers are having electric cars. BMW has an electric car now. Mercedes-Benz too also has an electric car. I'm not sure about Toyota or Honda. So please give me 1 second. So we have the main categories of sustainability focus. So when we talk about the social, we are going back to the triple bottom line. We have human rights, community development, health and well-being, cultural diversity and inclusion, education and awareness. These are very important parts that speaks to the human beings, human rights. You develop your community, your well-being. If you don't consume something that is hazardous to your health or harmful to your health, you will be fit to always be productive. Cultural diversity and inclusion. That means you also have to consider every other culture while making your decision. Then we have education and awareness. Because of the technology that comes up, innovation comes up, people get more educated, people get more aware that you can use this instead of this, and it will not, you will still get the same value. Then for the environment, which is the place where we live, the planet where we live, it helps us do resource conservation. And do we know that every resource that is being mined, drilled, excavated causes issues to the soil? It either affects farming or makes a hole. Any of us that have been to the place where gold was previously mined or coal, you see a very vast land where people cannot go and do any development. The land will be useless because there are so many holes under um, the topsoil that can always sink in. So just imagine hectares of land that cannot be used for anything again, just because it used to be a mining site. So we have climate action, which is global, speaks to global warming, waste reduction, biodiversity production and protection, that is for animals and wildlife. Then we have pollution control. Then speaking of the economic part, we have efficient use of resources. We save costs for every organization. When you know that you buy 10, uh, 10 soaps in 1 week and you are paying attention to it, you know that as a facility manager, if you are able to reduce that 10 to 5, it's going to affect your bottom line. We are a cost center, we are always spending money. So you have to find a way to have efficient use of resources so that you will be able to affect your bottom line positively. We have sustainable business practices. That means we are moving towards the sustainability practice. It keeps your business. We have innovation and green technologies, fair trade and ethical economics, then long-term profitability. Because the way the world is going to now is sustainability. You know that you have profitability. Example is installing of solar. It might be the initial cost is always expensive, but if it's done well, you have 5 years of clean power, at least 5 years. That's like the general benchmark of installing solar. So it says the three categories are interconnected and balancing them ensures that efforts contribute to the well-being of both people and the planet in an economically viable way. For everything, they say anything that is not measured cannot be counted. Anything that is not counted cannot be measured. So you said this is sustainability assessment. So this is the process organizations use to evaluate their sustainability performance. It helps organizations make informed decisions about implementing the sustainability focus and how to reduce negative impact. One, you identify sustainability vision. It might be that you want to do energy management. Our plan is that our consumption for this year last year was 15,000 kilowatts. Okay, we plan to reduce it. That is our target. We have to reduce it by 20%. You have to understand it. So scope definition, you now use, I'm just giving you a practical example. Scope definition. Okay, now we want to reduce our consumption. What are the things that are consuming power for us? We have light bulbs, we have AC. These are the two major ones that consume power in an office space. Except maybe you work in a factory. Okay, so now we have to do performance metrics. That means the way to do performance metrics for like this office is installing a meter. A meter will let you know how much you are consuming, not the bulk one. Each one, how much is consuming. You say you want to do your data collection for 3 months. Every quarter is always the best. You collect your consumption for 3 months. Then you say, okay, you analyze it for 3 months. Example, or 6 months. Example is based on my experience. The months that consume power most in an office space is February, March, October, November. So you want to use a 6 months. If in your organization you are consuming power mostly during the rainy season, there's an issue somewhere. Because during the rainy season, there's less heat. So your power is supposed to be reduced during the rainy season. That's 6 months, April to August, April to September. So you do your evaluation, then you produce recommendation. Recommendation, select the responsible parties. The ones that you are going to tell your security guards to do walk around and turn off the power to places where they see that nobody is there, or if in an open office that seats 15 people, you have 5 people there, you can put on 1 AC for them instead of the 3 AC. It will still be cool. So you put responsible party. If it is your CEO, that has to be the one to put down announce the sustainability plan to everybody so that everybody will be in line. That's a responsible party. So when you have all this, and the one that comes to the facility manager, if it is to install sensors, he has to be the responsible party for that and for the monitoring. Then you implement and monitor recommendation and ensure at the end of the day you communicate the results, because that communication of the results is going to first of all encourage people that they are making an impact and they can see the result that facility management, people are taking this sustainability important. So you communicate the result is important. So we have benefits of sustainability assessment. We have hard benefits and we have soft benefits. The hard benefits are tangible, measurable things that can be financially quantifiable. For example, now you have your clinic consumables which they supply. You are going through it week by week. You are monitoring it. You can see that there's a product there which, if you use ordinary cloth and water or another solution for, is going to give you better results. You cancel the product they are buying for you, they are supplying to you. You say, okay, we don't need this. And close monitoring will also let you know that in a month, I need 4 morning fresh. Nobody will come and tell you you are using 6, even if it's 6 they've been using, because you are paying attention. At the end of the day, it's going to reduce your cost as a facility manager. It's going to avoid wastage, resource efficiency. And the bottom line of the organization is profit-making activities, which is increased ROI. That is one of the targets or the responsibilities of a facility manager. I'm just giving us real-life situations so that we can actually understand what you can actually do as a facility manager to achieve sustainability. There are sometimes a cleaning company will come and give you a long list of we need this, we need that. As a facility manager, you go through it and say, no, I don't need this, I don't need this. Even if they say you need it, okay, the first month they supply it, and you're paying attention to how each of them is being used. Next month, you tell them that we don't need this product. Or, no, supply me this product. One of these products will give me 2 value. A typical example is, we have, I used to have cockroach issues in my office with cockroaches running around. If we buy insecticide, 3,000 naira, we use it within 1 week. First, it was sniper, it's smelling. Secondly, we bought Mortin, it's not smelling. We use it 1 week and the cockroach will still come back again. During my research, I discovered green leaf. Green leaf is 150. And if you use green leaf once, cockroaches they will disappear for like the whole 1 year. That singular thing I did saved my company a lot of money, because when I canceled insecticide away from my consumables monthly, I know how much it's going to save us. That's just one of the practical examples. So as a facility manager, you have to constantly find out on ways you can do things better. So we have soft benefits of facility sustainability assessments. That means it will increase your brand strength. For example, when all of us heard, I don't know, maybe me, when I heard that Sterling Bank is going green and they have solar panels all over their office space, it was, everybody applauded them. And whether we know it, they will definitely be receiving carbon credits for going that direction. And carbon credit strengthens their brand internationally. So we are next. We have pollution and landfill waste to reduce. That means when you reduce the use of plastics in your organization or anywhere, pollution and landfill will reduce. People will not pour away that into the gutters again. You might not be able to quantify the soft benefits, but you will know that you are making an impact in the environment. So next is increased occupant health, comfort, and productivity. If your occupants can come to the office without having any issues, they are productive. This is another soft benefit of sustainability assessment. As a facility manager, if I see that one of my colleagues did not come to the office consistently for like a week or two or some days, I'll find out. If he says he's on leave, fine. If he's sick, let us start tracing where the sickness starts from. If it is in the office, we know how to go around it. Some of these soft benefits, increase occupant health, it really came into play during COVID. Those of us that were facility managers during COVID, our organization we really knew the kind of impact we had to do to make sure that everybody was safe, even people that were coming to the office after the lockdown is important. And lastly, better decision making for the organization. Creating goals and action plan. For sustainability to succeed, you have to create goals and action plan. You have to recognize, prioritize, and understand key stakeholders in the organization. You need support for you to do sustainability. You need the support of your management. You need the support of the people that are also following you, your colleagues. Like as a facility manager, you need the support of people above you. You need the support of people on the same level with you. You also need the support of the people that are reporting to you for sustainability to be successful. You have to all agree on a policy that is aligned with sustainability objective of the organization. The organization must have a sustainability objective. You have to provide business case for the policy and present it to a senior executive who has a desire for sustainability. Agree on the policy boundaries and provision of adequate resources. That's what I'm saying. If you are going through sustainability, does not mean that you starve people of resources. The resources must be adequate, but there must be close monitoring. You must do the best thing at every point in time. So you have to set SMART targets. We all know what SMART means. You have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You engage stakeholders and communicate success. You review and provide feedback. So performance measurement and review. Facility managers should use strategic process to measure sustainability goals. It's important to take a 360 approach because sustainability is a journey and not a destination. So when I say a 360 approach, what it means is that you have to carry everybody along, both the people that you report to, the people that are your colleagues, and the people that report to you. Everybody has to be carried along. You have to evaluate social, economic, and environmental impact on an organization. You have to set clear and smart goals. You have to define your KPI. KPI is, for example, energy consumption by power audit. You must know your kilowatt consumption that your office consumes every month. You have at least every month you have to know. So you compare February 2024 to February 2025. You know whether you're actually making an impact. Waste reduction by providing alternatives. Next, collect data and monitoring. Essential for tracking progress by using energy management system or sustainability reporting software. You conduct internal and external audits. Internal audits for area of improvement. External audit like ISO 4001 provide credibility. Involving and engaging all stakeholders helps ensure that all goals are met. And you review and report to outline gaps for improvement. So we have tools and standards for sustainability assessment. There are different tools which have been accepted worldwide for sustainability assessment. One of them is ISO, International Standard Organization. It's a network of international standard. It is published, it's online for one of them is ISO 4001, which speaks to facility management. We have different types, and it's published regularly so that you go there and see that this is a template of how we are going to practice sustainability. Then we have the Global Reporting Initiative. It's used to report sustainability. For example, if your organization decides to go green, completely green, there's a place you can go and report it so that it will be acknowledged for brand improvement. We have sustainable development goals, which are frameworks that align business activities with global sustainability goals. One major one is waste reduction, waste segregation. Next is Carbon Disclosure Project. It's a platform for companies to disclose environmental impact on how they are achieving sustainability. So by strategically measuring and evaluating sustainability performance, organizations can ensure they are contributing positively to the environment, society, and economy while making conscious progress towards long-term sustainability goals. One of the ways you can do this is to always search for better alternatives for your resources that you use. You can always get a better alternative. There was a time that people used asbestos and they eliminated it because it gives health issues. That does not mean what they used to use asbestos for that time is stopped. They found other ways other sustainable ways to do it. Module 4, Sustainable Facility Management 1. The goals of sustainable facility management, it focuses on the long-term, efficient operation, and maintenance of the built environment while minimizing their economical impact and promoting social and economic benefits. If you remember, I said sustainability is putting a strategic framework. You have a strategy that will become a policy in the organization, or they become a policy or a way of living, so that people will know that, yes, this is what we are doing at every point in time. Even if you are not around, they are sticking to it. That is what a goal of sustainable facility management is. So number 1, compliance with environmental regulation and standard. There are standards for sustainability. Landfill, waste, pollution are the common ones. As you can see from these pictures, one of them speaks to power, energy management. The second one speaks to water consumption, reduction of water consumption. The third one is recycling. And the fourth one is ecosystem, biodiversity management. We plant crops for the green environment. So next, you move to cost savings and resource efficiency, improve indoor environmental quality, waste reduction and recycling, energy management and optimizing resources, foster a culture of sustainability among building occupants, employees, tenants, and visitors. It says, these goals typically aim to create an environment that is not only efficient, but also healthy, cost-effective, and resilient. Some of us have experienced where our neighbor has a very big generator. The moment they turn on the generator like this, everybody will be rushing to close their windows, because first of all, the noise will not let you rest. The exhaust too will not let you rest. Going green is going to save us from such things. So next is energy management. For energy management, we have 2 types of energy sources. We have the renewable and the non-renewable. Renewable never depletes with usage. The renewable resources have been there even before man was created. Then we have the non-renewable energy too, which is the ones that are actually affecting our ecosystem, and they deplete with usage. So energy management goals, we have one of them is use less, use more energy derived from renewable sources, use energy in a more socially and environmentally responsible manner, understanding facility energy consumption and purchasing. As a facility manager, you have to know how much you are consuming as power and how your consumption is calculated. It's very important. Improving the efficiency of core building systems. Optimizing facility energy use. You optimize the use of energy in your facility. Energy doesn't only speak to power, it also speaks to water, it also speaks to the AC and the air conditioning. It's important. Involving occupants in energy initiatives. For you to be successful as a facility manager, you must know how to communicate. Sometimes it's not to get people's permission, but you have to communicate because you are there because of the occupants. You are there because of the organization. So you have to be there, communicate to everybody, let them know, let them understand your vision as a facility manager. Next, reducing heating and cooling load through improvement made to the building envelope. So one way you can do this is by filming your windows. The more, or you put very thick curtains. Those ones are quite expensive. So the more sunlight hits the windows of your office space, the more AC, the thermostat of the AC keeps it running. But when you film it, and you notice that most times when we go to our server rooms are always at the center of our office space. It's always cold. It's not because they have a very big AC there or something. It's because it doesn't get direct heat from sunlight. It's kept in a safe place. So reducing heating and cooling load through improvement made to the building envelope, even when they want to start building, you can influence the building so that they will use reduced AC. For example, now they can separate the blocks for the building with a facade. That pocket of space between the block or the blocks in a building and a facade will help you reducing heat and cooling load. So identify energy use by all core system components and conducting an energy audit is important. You must always conduct an energy audit regularly as a facility manager. The purpose of energy management is to improve energy performance, not to reduce energy consumption. When energy facility occupancy is high and operations increase, energy consumption is bound to go up with it, and your CO2 emissions may grow as well. What's important is that you continue to improve your energy performance as you increase energy consumption. The goal is to improve energy performance, which can be measured in terms of cost. You check your cost consumption, your absolute use, or with various energy use ratios, such as kilowatt per hour per organizational unit. Energy management, optimizing energy usage. As we can see from this picture, that there are different ways people can produce power, which are sustainable. One of them is by wind, one of them is by solar. And we can also see a battery. So wind and solar can also produce all these sources of power, can produce all these sources of energy. We have the sun, we have water, we have the plant, the bulbs, and the battery. So number one, integration of renewable energy systems, wind turbine, etc., to reduce dependency on conventional energy sources. Conduct frequent energy audits on lighting, building envelope, HVAC, and other facility equipment. Install submeters to measure energy consumption. This data will be used to make informed decisions. That means irrespective of the bulk meter you have, for your multi-tenanted building, every tenant should have meter. Even if you have wing A and wing B in a building, wing A should have his own meter, wing B should have his own meter. There are little check meters you can buy to achieve this. Switch to energy efficient system, inverter, AC, LED light, etc. Energy efficient system, one of them is solar, which is one of them. You use them. So energy audits, you cannot manage or improve what you don't measure. This picture here shows a data logger. This data logger is installed in your power in your power room, and it measures amps, voltage, and frequency. Your frequency might be high, it will increase your consumption. But I know you must have learned that from the electrical course on the Mastercraft program. Then you have an energy audit seeks to document things that are sometimes ignored in the organization, such as energy used on site per year, which facilities, buildings use the most energy, and the opportunities for saving. That's important. We identify no cost operational and maintenance adjustment that will save energy. Might not even cost you anything to implement things that will save your energy. You find out that your pump just keeps on running without anybody using the water. Water is wasting, power is going. No, installing a flow switch will save you all that. You don't even need to be running to check whether your tank is full. When your tank is almost full, flow switch will trip off your pump and it's safe. It can cool down. Next, we have short-term. Flow switch will even let you know if there's a leakage in your building. It's through your flow switch, you will know. Your pump will just be running continuously. We have short-term, low-cost, energy-efficient retrofit recommendation. One of them is the filming for the glasses. It's cheap and it reduces your AC usage. Action plans for energy efficiency, capital investments. You'll be able to put in a plan to know that you need expensive investments for energy efficiency. One of them is this data logger. It lets you know whether your meters are working fine or your consumption is the same thing as what you are getting from the grid. Comfort and cold issues can be addressed immediately. Opportunities for better adherence to lighting and comfort standard. Then we have submetering and monitoring system. Submetering is, like I said earlier, is important to meter every section of your organization, of your office space. It's even important as a facility manager to have a meter on standby, just in case you are suspecting that one equipment is consuming. You know that as an equipment gets older, it consumes more energy. That's one thing we need to know. So remote energy monitoring provides the technology and know-how to guide, measure, and help manage energy use and cost. What this means is that remote energy is like you can be checking your consumption on your phone. You don't even need to physically go to the meter. Check on your phone. That's remote monitoring. You check on your phone or your laptop to see what you have consumed in a month. From your laptop to something I've done many well, or from your phone, you can turn off a meter when you can see from your camera that nobody is there. Turn off your AC. That is remote monitoring. So it also helps with the real-time data collection, analysis, and reporting. Is required if energy baseline. If an energy baseline, energy target, and energy performance indicators are to be identified for the institution. Remote monitoring can let you know the frequency of your AC at 12 a.m. when everybody is sleeping, because he records it and keep it. You can't tell anyone to go and be checking that at that time. We have energy management and verification demonstrate the value of energy efficiency program by providing accurate, transparent, and consistent assessment of facility energy performance improvement. Benefits of submetering. I will summarize. In facilities department staff reviewed meter data, know which buildings consume a disproportionate amount and can be held accountable. The data also facilitates dialogues between the energy manager and building users, leading to collaboration on ways to reduce energy consumption in buildings with high energy use. So it lets you know that that floor that it does not have your server room and the kilowatt is high, what is going on? This submetering has also helped me even know that when we close from work in one place I work, my security will go inside the office and go and turn on the AC overnight. What's going on until we did meter on it? The submetering and the remote monitoring let me know that from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. AC is on. How come? So it's important. It also lets you know, make decisions on energy upgrades by comparing energy used in similar facility. You have a multi-tenanted building. Like I said, the floor that doesn't have your server room is consuming power more than the floor that has your server room that has AC. You find out that something is going on there. I've seen a situation where electrical cable cost more consumption. It lets you know. If sometimes even a dirty AC that has not been serviced will be consuming more power. Next, focuses accountability for building operations on the facilities department. Facilities chargebacks to department as a way to encourage energy efficiency measures. This thing has happened to me before, where the accounting department, because they say the auditing department, because they say they have a lot of work, they stay late into the night. By the time we give them the bill of their power consumption for staying in the office till 10 p.m., everybody had to rearrange their closing time. That's what it means, facilities charge back to department. So it helps everybody understand that this is how we can manage power consumption. If not, the audit department will argue that the admin, they will share the power. That, not knowing that the people audit department stay late into the night to work. So we have assist in developing cost recovery and overhead analysis, as well as verifies savings from energy improvement projects. Guides maintenance decision. Monthly and annual energy use trends helps to identify potential benefits from system upgrades, such as component replacement and improvement. Like I said earlier, the older your equipment gets, the more power it consumes. And also, there are some clients which I've experienced. If you don't give them empirical information on their power consumption, they are not going to listen to you. When you have three clients in a space, and you now tell everybody that don't worry, we do 20, 40, 30 sharing formula. One of them will tell you that no, since we have more working from home, we are not working, we are not coming to the office, we cannot consume power. This is something I've experienced. If we found out that it's the mass cleaner, whenever the mass cleaner comes to the office 3 times a week, the person owns AC all through, just because he has meter. So that's one of the importance of the metering. Next, we move to water conservation. Ways that you can conserve water. You implement low flow fixtures and water efficient appliances in facilities. One of them is a sensor tap. Another one is there's a specific kind of tap that water does not rush. The water will be dropping little by little. You have to take your time to wash your hand because you don't need a lot of water to actually do what you need. And even the WC that they are doing nowadays, you just need little water to flush it. So next, you have using gray water system to recycle water for non-portable uses like irrigation, like water people use to bath, people use to wash plates, people use to wash hands. There are waters that can be recycled again and used for irrigation. Collecting and utilizing rainwater through rainwater harvesting systems. There are some countries like Morocco, Egypt, those countries that are close to the Sahara, they depend a lot on rainwater because they don't have the luxury of digging wells or borehole like we have in West Africa because we are close to water. But countries that are so those kind of people during the rainy season, they really maximize it. Almost every drop of rainwater, they must store it and they use it for different things and also gray systems too. So this is one of the ways people use rainwater. Monitoring water consumption with smart meter to detect leaks and efficiency. Every organization is supposed to have a water meter. Water meter that you collect your reading beginning of the month, you collect another reading at the end of the month. It will also let you know that whether there's a leakage somewhere. Because one thing I want us to know is that if there's a leakage, you use more power, your pump will be running. The lifespan of your pump will reduce because it will keep working there. So there are so many factors that can affect, that can be caused by wastage. They're promoting water conservation awareness and practices among facility occupants. Water conservation, you monitor your water consumption in facility, you install water meter, and you set benchmarks for water consumption. You use data analysis to optimize water use and reduce wastage. Can also use automated system too. So there's the process of harvesting rainwater, and what you can use it for. So you use the rainwater runoff into the filter, you save it into a tank. It's not really common in the south, in the West Africa, because we have water close. But in North Africa, they are close to the Sahara. They implement this a lot in those places. So when you save this rainwater, you can use it for a lot of things. A lot of things. And we have materials and resources. These are the efficient use of materials and resources, which speaks to sustainability. You use less materials and resources to avoid depleting finite resources. People don't just go and do excavation. Example is oil spillage. There's a proper way you can do it, that you cannot have spillage of crude oil. You use less materials. Using materials made from sustainable sources or recycled content. We are always preaching recycling. Recycle your bottles, recycle your plastics, recycle things. Even tires now, they found a way to recycle tires. They are converting them to plastic chairs, which will have long lifespan. Then you purchase in a sustainable manner. What purchasing in a sustainable manner means is that you pay attention to the things that are bought for you as a facility manager, both from any consumables or any even building materials. You know that you don't need this, you don't need to purchase it, to avoid wastage. Avoiding the use of materials that contribute to pollution or pose hazards to occupant health or safety. So the challenges you can face for materials and resources are cost of materials, waste management, availability of these sustainable materials, which are options of those materials that we are talking about. Then we have customer education and demand. So we have concepts of sustainable materials and resource. We have resource efficiency, circular economy, cradle to cradle design, eco-friendly packaging. So what this means is that you know the manage your resources, you source items sustainably. If you want to buy some things, you know that this material I want to buy, it's going towards the sustainable side. For example, your organization is saying they want to buy a new generator. You first say, okay, can we consider solar? If we calculate the cost of solar and generator, just go solar. Even in your house, instead of buying generator, there's so many solar power we can buy, which will give us the same value, and generator will not give us that. There's a fan there's solar fan now. So sustainable sourcing, when you are buying things, you make sure it speaks to sustainability. Eco-friendly packaging. So these are things that you use to package items and are not harmful to the environment. There are some countries that they've totally banned nylons. If you want to pack this thing, you put it inside your paper bag. That is eco-friendly packaging. So we speak materials in sustainability, recycled and recyclable materials, sustainable construction, biodegradable materials, non-toxic materials, low impact and non-polluting resources. Biodegradable materials are materials that if you dispose of them, they will degrade. They don't take time. Non-biodegradable materials are things that they don't degrade. For example, one of them is the diapers we use. It doesn't degrade. The lifespan is very, very long. Non-polluting resources too. Strategies for sustainable resource management. You recycle. When you manufacture, you use, you consume, then you recycle again. That is the circular economy. You have to reduce, reuse, recycle. Sustainable agriculture and forestry. As they are doing deforestation, they are also doing afforestation. It's not only that they cut trees and they just leave the land there like that, or they will not use, or they use fertilizers or chemicals that will affect people that consume those crops. That is not sustainable. Sustainable sourcing, I've explained that. Water efficiency. energy efficiency, manufacturing, waste reduction, and circular design. Reducing environmental impact, conserving ecosystem, and ensuring long-term resource availability are the benefits of sustainability, sourcing, and using material and resources. So we have site impact. This is how we do different things that we do that affects the floor or the ground which we work on. Is the environmental, social, and economic impact of human activities on the ecosystem, directly or indirectly. One of them is storm water, soil erosion, soil degradation, and they all cause pollution to water system. Disposing of waste, when digging of all this mining and excavation of land causes soil degradation. Even using pesticides to cause soil degradation. The next, we have light pollution. This is excess skylight created by human activities that interferes with astronomical observation and affects the environment. That's putting on too much light. Light we enter people's eye and disturb other people. Then we have absorption of solar radiation by surfaces of hardscape features such as pavement and roof. And the radiation of heat into the surrounding air is called urban heat island effect. A very good example of this is the reason why they use interlocking now instead of the asphalt. Asphalt gives so much heat to the environment, but interlocking does not give heat. It absorbs the heat and it prevents this urban heat island effect. Though people use interlocking mostly, they say for water area, but it's a better way of making roads when we are talking of sustainability. We also have climate change mitigation and adaptation, which we all know is everywhere about climate change. Then addressing site impact is critical in reducing negative effects on ecosystem, human health, and local economics while promoting long-term environmental responsibility, resource efficiency, and social equity. So strategies to manage site impact, integrating low-impact design development into natural landscape while minimizing environmental degradation. So examples of all this is water efficiency. Don't allow storm water to run. When water is flowing from the ceiling, you will see erosion during rain season. It causes gullies, which can affect people at the soil. Indoor environmental quality. Make sure the environment indoor is always okay. Example, are not using harmful fumigation chemicals, ensuring that there are no rodents running around indoor so that to avoid transfer of diseases. We have durable and maintainable design. Whenever you hang an outdoor condenser of an AC on 3-story building, you ask, how do we plan to maintain this? Or someone, because they have availability to scaffolding, they want to go and hang a floodlight on a place that is very high. Floodlight will be as high as the NEPA pole. You ask, how do you maintain this if the floodlight gets burnt? You get that kind of situation. You have to go and hire scaffolding. That will cost you a lot of money. So you have to do maintainable design as facility manager. We have energy efficiency, eco-friendly materials used, and waste reduction. So there are certifications you can get, LEED, BREEAM, and so. Next, we have sustainable facility management. I'll try and round up the class now. Module 5, we have indoor environmental quality. You know that if your occupants don't have good health, it will reduce their productivity. And you as a facility manager, it will be affected. If somebody comes to the office and they have cough, that one person having cough can infect everybody. So that's one of our responsibility as facility manager is to have good indoor air quality. The AC must be working. You must make sure you service your AC regularly. The filters are not dirty. There are there's no humidity around, and the air movement is fine. Lighting quality and glare reduction. Use LED for the office. Make sure that the light is not affecting people's eyes. We have noise and sound management, acoustic. I spoke earlier that people cannot be working, and that's when you invite vendors to come to your office. It's not reasonable. Or when they are doing meetings, that's when someone will be shouting. So we have temperature, humidity, and air movement. Incorporation of natural elements into indoor spaces to promote a connection with nature, which can have positive psychological effects. What this means is that it is a very good idea to have indoor plants in your office. Things like indoor plants, soft furnishing is very important to incorporate it into your office. It makes people have a connection with nature. It makes them relax when they come into the office. So creating spaces that promote the health, comfort, and productivity of building occupants. The quality of service. What this means is that any one of the targets of a facility manager is that any job that is done does not have a rework. You make sure that you follow the process of sourcing the vendors, listing out the scope, listing out everything to make sure that the quality of service is very good. And how you can do that is make sure that you pay attention to everything that is going on. The facility management is not a passive profession, it's an active profession. One of them is facility mail, shipping and delivery services, copying, printing services, content and document management. There are some printers that have password, that you must enter a particular password specific to you so that you will know that, yes, when you are entering password, you'll be careful of the things that you print. This will avoid wastage of paper for the organization. We have sustainable transportation. I've mentioned it earlier. Some organizations, instead of allowing 15 people to come to the office with 15 cars, they will get a coaster bus and be moving staff from their house to the office. It's better than having 15 vehicles releasing carbon monoxide to the environment. Then we have food service. If you are in charge of food, make sure it is done well. Make sure it is clean. Make sure it is healthy. You can't be managing an hotel and people have food poisoning. That's terrible on the part of the facility manager. Or there are flies roaming around. As you can see, the topic is quality of service. We have energy services. Power should not go out. You should always have a plan B and plan C for power. If the grid misbehaves, what is the alternative? The way I did it in my own office, my solar, my inverter is there for the server room, but I also put four bulbs in all offices on an inverter. So even if power goes out, the TV and the bulbs will not go out. People can still work. So you provide it for your occupants. So we have hardscape maintenance and project works. Like I said, I mentioned the rework should not happen. Then we have landscape and property amenities. If you have a green environment, it supports sustainability. It's about delivering services in ways that minimize negative environmental impact, support community well-being, and encourage responsible use of resources. So we have waste management and recycling. I've discussed it. Waste segregation, waste collection, segregation to avoid waste. You know the ones you recycle, you know the organic and the general waste to promote proper disposal habits. And you must also train people, let them know that this is the direction we are going on waste. So waste reduction strategies and recycling programs. We have reduce, reuse, recycle, then disposal. You know, when you reduce your waste, you don't, and that's resource efficiency. You reuse it again. That's resource management. Then recycle. You bring them back again. You do things. You use things that you can always use 2, 3, 4 times before you throw it away. That is a waste reduction strategy. Then by the time you use it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it has given you value. You can dispose it, and you dispose it in a very, very proper way. Then we have hazardous waste management. So as you can see from this, these are the meaning of each of these signs. For the toxic, explosive, radiation, acid, flammable, biohazard, it's important that all facility managers know these signs. And all these waste have specific ways they can dispose them. And most of them are written on the labeling. There are some chemicals you cannot bury in the ground. If you bury them under the soil, the whole environment, you can't plant anything there. for years. The half-life of many of these waste is so hazardous. So there are different ways you can manage them. You must handle them properly to avoid spillage. You must dispose them in compliance with local and international regulations. This some flammable from biohazard or toxic liquid. If you pour it into you can't say because it's liquid, you pour it into water bodies, all the fishes will die. It has happened before where somebody poured it into water bodies. It's a liquid, I've forgotten the name. And the people were eating, the fish did not die, but the people that were eating the fish were the ones that were having swollen liver. So until they discovered and they found solution to it. So, and if you are managing facilities that deal with chemicals, you must partner with certified hazardous waste disposal services to ensure safe and eco-friendly disposal method. There are some of these chemicals that you just need to add another chemical that will now separate water and another remove water, and you have another chemical that you can easily, or another solid that you can easily dispose. For example, is salt and water. If you heat salt water up to a level, you will only have salt inside. So there are different ways. You have to certify hazardous waste disposal. People know how to go about it. So you also have workplace management, which is the responsibility of a facility manager, which switch to space management and optimization. Space should not be wasted. You must optimize it. You have to support virtual workspaces, work from home, makes it easy for people. And all this support the triple bottom line. Then we have increasing flexible use of facility space to decrease churn or minimize its impact on workplace. So there should be no rigid chair and table. People should be able to have spaces where they can go to, meeting rooms, where they can go and rub minds. We have a soft room where people can just go and just relax. It should be flexible, it should not be rigid. Nowadays, workplace has become, as facility managers, we are building the workplace as a conducive place for people to be happy to come to work. That's our responsibility. You design productive workspaces. That's why you go to some workspaces, some offices, they have lots of colors, pictures, just to encourage people to come to the office and stay. So when you want to balance sustainable facility management, there are three stages. You have the input, the process, and the output. So the inputs are the resources that are used, the ones that you work on, the ones that you manage, the ones that you reduce, the one that you find alternative usage for them. Then we have the process of using those resources the process of taking those resources for our use is the process. This is workplace management, indoor environmental quality of services. So what we now get as the output are waste and the site impact, which is the impact our waste or water or energy or resources use, what it does to the environment and the site. So we have to pay attention to these three processes as facility management, from the purchase of the item to how the same item after use is disposed is our responsibility as facility managers. Effect of lack of sustainability consciousness. We have to promote sustainability awareness, and the negative effects are decreased quality of life. People can fall sick, resources can deplete, you run out of natural resources, loss of biodiversity. Then we have social inequality as pollution and environmental degradation. For example, if at the beginning of the street, people are pouring, like I said earlier, you pour waste inside because it's raining. The people at the end of the street will suffer it. There's that social inequality. Environment, and if it happens that in your community, all the trees have been cut in your generation, coming generation will suffer it. So that's social inequality. Then we have environmental degradation like climate change, resource depletion, and pollution. Even cutting of trees too encourage pollution. It allows pollution to happen. So we also, because if it's raining, the trees stop the flow of water. So then we have biodiversity loss caused by unsustainable agricultural practices, habitat destruction, and overexploitation of wildlife lead to destruction of ecosystem. We have the lack of sustainability consciousness compromises the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. I said it earlier. Each future generation will suffer for it. Then we have module 6 green building certifications. We have different kinds of certifications which we can work towards. We have leadership in energy management, environmental design, BREEAM, IFC, Green Edge. The most common one for us in Nigeria is the Edge certificate, which a lot of people, some people I know have it. Edge, that's sustainability expert, and other green building certifications. Then we have pursuing certifications for improving facility value, operational efficiency, and environmental impact. Steps to achieving green building standards. You have to always conduct sustainability assessment. You have to identify areas of improvement. You have to implement green technologies and engaging qualified professionals for certification processes and audits. Regular monitoring and documentation to maintain compliance with building standards. So benefits of certified sustainable facility. I mean, if your facility is sustainable, it achieves these 8 things. That means recycle, it doesn't run on grid, it has plants, the power consumption is reduced, there is supporting recycling. These are all the benefits you get. You reduce operational cost, you enhance property value, you improve occupant health, positive environmental impact, you strengthen brand image and corporate social responsibility. So for sustainable procurement, like I spoke earlier, and materials management, you need to always conduct life cycle cost analysis for every equipment you buy. You must know how much the initial cost is. You must know how much the lifespan is, first of all. Then service cost, how much it will cost you to service it for that period. That's part of why you draw a budget. You must know how much your generator will consume in a year. If not an exact amount, you must have an idea, a summary. Then you have preventive and maintenance costs, operating costs, then disposal costs. Because at the end of the day, if something like your generator uses over 10,000 running hours, and maybe you now want to dispose it, because after 10,000 running hours, your generator will continue to consume more by replacing parts and all those things. You must know how much you can dispose it for you to be able to recoup an amount for disposal. Then we also have, next, we have technological integration for sustainability. Technology is important, and that's one of the best ways by which you can achieve sustainability. You can use the Internet of Things device. Remember, I told you about remote monitoring and submetering. That's one of the Internet of Things. Then you implement smart lighting systems that are just based on occupancy and natural light level. One of them is installing sensors in all the restrooms in your organization. So even if nobody is there, after 5 minutes, the power will go off. That's one of it. We have employing advanced building maintenance management system. That's BMS. You can have it on your phone. You can have a BMS on your phone, which you can use to monitor AC, lights, even something as little as printer. You can use to monitor it. You can switch it off when you see that nobody is there. Then we also have integrating renewable energy sources such as solar panels with smart grids. We know about that. Then using data and IoT for sustainable facility management. So it's important that when you collect this data, when you use IoT, you don't just use it, you collect your data. One of them is even diesel consumption. You can use IoT for diesel consumption. There's a sensor which you can throw into your diesel tank that will give you real life consumption of your diesel for your generator. You don't need to be going and be dipping every day, but you will see it on the phone, on your laptop. That's one of the things IoT does. Real-time energy consumption. You can know how much diesel you consume at your peak period. It's important. That's for sustainability. It's important we know it. So you utilize your data analytics to predict maintenance needs and reduce downtime. Monitoring indoor quality with IoT devices to ensure a healthy environment. Employing smart water management systems. That's to show you technology, smart water management system. You can check your water consumption on your phone to detect leaks. So we also have automated system for energy and resource optimization. That means there are some lights that if as soon as you are leaving the room, it goes off. It's automatic. There's smart thermostat, which if it's not sensing the temperature of human beings in a room, the AC will go off by itself. It's available. So these are IoT. So irrigation system too, we utilize water based on requirements. It doesn't use water, and that's for farming. So building management systems too, we spoke about it earlier. So in summary, sustainable practices in facility management reduce operational costs and improve efficiency. Enhancing indoor air quality and using sustainable systems to contribute to better health and well-being for occupants. You can get sustainability certifications, which can boost your company's reputation and attract certification. Sustainable procurement is important, and materials management to ensure long-term cost. Clear sustainability reporting fosters transparency and strengthens relationships with stakeholders. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Thank you. So you can also do this assessment at the end of the course when you go through it. And also I'm available for any questions. So I won't take much of your time. I will put my number in the chat in case anybody has any questions to ask me, and you can also drop your questions in the chat, like I said, but not to take too much of our time. So you can always drop me a WhatsApp message, and I will make sure to respond to you and assist you the best way I can. I hope we are still here.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you everyone for your time. I hope to get a feedback on the class we had today, and apologies for taking more than the required time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for the class. It was an interesting class. And thank you all for joining today's class. And see you next tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Next. Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. God bless you.
Bye.